Guys, Martin here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we're taking the Tournament of Power Androids and their team up against the Omega Shenron event. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes because it's pretty clear from the design of the androids and the fact that they get their damage reduction as well as a lot of defense on super attack, that they are not going to be particularly great against AoEs. Now, the STR Omega is kind of manageable because his AoEs don't hit very hard, especially if you're one of the later units getting hit by it and not the first ones necessarily straight away. But once we get to the int phase, we obviously get to the possibility that, you know, these guys are just going to get absolutely destroyed. If that is what happens, then that is what happens. When it comes to these units coming out, you know the drill at this point, I'm pretty sure, right? The new units come out. Do a 55% showcase, and then we start taking them into the current suite of difficult bosses, which of course for global currently without the new anniversary content is just going to be Omega and then Zamasu. Unfortunately, both of them are bosses that feature AoEs. Funnily enough, with Zamasu it's in the first phase, Omega it's in the last phase, but they're both hard-hitting int bosses, so definitely not ideal for these kind of characters, right? So we're going to see how we can get on here. We've got a really awkward turn here, to be honest. I need to... We'll do this. We haven't got a lot of... We got the support carried over to this turn from the androids. So I'm hoping that as long as he doesn't immediately super in slot 1, which of course he is going to, fortunately, we do have the Universe Survival Saga ally on the rotation with the physical UI Goku, so he does at least have guard. But unfortunately, Kaioken Goku getting sealed is probably one of the worst case scenarios, right? Because we want him to be supering and building up. He got 3 attacks on that turn. There's no way to know whether the hidden potential one at the end was going to be a super or not. But obviously none of them could be supers because he got sealed, which does make this event against the Omega very frustrating with the fact that he so very often seals or stuns the unit that's attacking in slot 1, which definitely not what we want to see. We've got no Goku on the rotation, so we can't tell if there is going to be a super or not. I think MVP 17 should survive even if there isn't. The friend, by the way, that I brought was just the one that was actually randomly picked for me, so it is a 90% one. They are level 10 links. I did get mine up to level 10 links. I did get the one dupe. I did a couple of multis like at the end of that stream where we did the main summons, but I'm not touching the banner again after that, so 69% will be what it is for me for now, which is, I'm perfectly happy with that. So we'll go ahead and do this. If MVP 17 gets supered in slot 1, he should be okay. Both of these guys are going to pick up 7 orbs, so they're both giving him a little bit of an extra buff from their support as well. And of course, even though we're not below his damage threshold to get his full passive, he does have a little bit of damage reduction as well. So MVP 17, obviously pretty good there in slot 1. He should be fully built up now with the hits that he's taken. Also, we can lower attack in this first phase, which does make things a little bit easier when it comes to taking these normals. And the Tournament of Power androids do have type advantage over this phase, so even if he is going to super one of these guys, since it's post super where they'll have raised their defense by a significant amount, they also have the damage reduction, so they should be fine. It's not very often that he doesn't super you at all, though. I'm expecting a super here at the end, but well, apparently not. Definitely not what I had expected. So do I take the risk on Goku? If he doesn't guard and I get supered, that's going to be really bad, but yeah, I think we'll take the risk. We'll see what happens. We'll grab the orbs for you, and then we can get the orbs for you as well. I don't know if Vegeta will get to attack. Okay, he did guard. That's good. Now he's getting supered. Well, actually, of course, if he gets stunned here, or even if he doesn't get stunned and just gets sealed, he's not going to be able to super. Kaioken Goku might be able to finish him off here, although he's obviously not had any buffs yet because of how the first turn played out for him. So we'll see. He got hit a whole bunch here, though, which is good for him for getting all of those buffs. We don't have any other revive units on the team, so if he's going to get his revive and go into his like full power mode, it's going to be off of his own back. So we'll have to see how that plays out here. But finally getting our rotations kind of set the way we want them to be. Definitely think we can go ahead, and do this. We should be all good here now then, because if we grab these for you, then... Well, they didn't quite drop the way I was expecting, but actually we can already get a decent amount of orbs there without having to use their active skill. Remember, of course, both the androids can use their active skill, which changes tech orbs to int 8 times in total. So realistically, if there's ever a situation where even the slot 1 unit needs orbs or whatever, you can feel free to go ahead and use it if it will be beneficial on that turn. These guys are up to 7.1 now on this turn. This is them linked up with MVP 17 with the support from the physical UI Goku, and obviously getting the support from the androids having gotten their unit super on the previous rotation. And that was my one as well. That was the 69% one. I'm actually quite surprised that it was that one that was able to hit so hard. Right, so this Goku's up to 637k. The problem is, if he doesn't guard, he will get taken out here. So I'm really not sure the best way to play out this turn, because if we put the androids in slot 1, they're going to super, they're going to get a pretty decent amount of defense and then 35% damage reduction. Goku obviously has more defense, but if he doesn't guard, he will get cooked by the super here. So it's kind of hard to decide which way round is the best way to do this, because as long as he guards, then it's all good, but he might not, right? Because it's good old chance to guard passives, but we'll give it a go. We'll get our 7 orbs, so at least we do get the extra support. He's up to 677. Also, he is going to get hit first with a normal and then get his own super. Although I do think if he's not guarding, he probably still gets killed, right? I'm not too sure. I imagine so, right? Even with without guard, like this Omega does hit pretty hard. So we'll see. Obviously, as many supers as you want to get here, we'll take them all. And hopefully we can guard. I said, sure, of course he dodged that first attack as well, because now we're left completely unknown whether he's guarding or not. And of course he isn't. So he's got a couple of extra defense buffs here. Will he live this now or no? 830k, so no, he won't. Okay, so we're back to the STR phase. I'm going to try and see how well the androids themselves can actually tank the super here. Unfortunately, though, we were not able to set up 7 orbs for them, so they're not going to get the extra buff from the support. Hopefully Goku still guards, but he has like over 700k defense on this turn, so him not guarding against the normal attacks doesn't really matter. He's easily able to tank them quite nicely here, so we should be looking pretty good, at least in slot 1. I'm not sure when it comes to the androids how much they will take here, because they get a lot of extra defense from their super attack. Not just from their super attack effects, but like the support as well. The problem is that 35% damage reduction is a pretty decent amount, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. You would hope so, but with them being a unit that only gets their defensive capabilities on super, so it's 360k from STR Omega type neutral. That obviously is still a pretty decent like chunk of damage. But look at this, like, oh boy, free-to-play UI Goku. I love the fact that, like, on Global, this team, really, until they start getting buffs, this is what I said in the video when we were talking about, like, summon or skip for the androids. Like, until they start getting some of their buffs, they're really not that great, in terms of their team, I should say. But, like, that guy, he's pulling his weight, right? Until we start getting those buffs from the anniversary, this is what we have to put up with. And, you know, they're doing all right. So, right, with the buffs, you've got 680k defense. You have your damage reduction because we started the turn on low HP. So even if we get super straight away, we should be okay. You've got 611. So actually, even from the AoE, he shouldn't take that much damage. I think the only way we would die on this turn is if Vegeta gets supered. But look at that, MVP 17 coming in clutch with the dodges. You love to see that. We're doing all right here so far, because yeah, post super MVP 17's defense is pretty good. He has a lot of damage reduction now, so he should eat this relatively well. Yeah, 41k type disadvantage, we take that all day long. So very, very good. The friend androids for this second run, I could find barely any other android friends on the friend list, which is not surprising at all. But the android's friend for this run is 55%. I didn't check their build because there was literally only 2 available at 55%, so I just grabbed the first one. So obviously they're not going to be as good as the 90% friend that we had on the first run. But we're doing all right here. Vegeta getting additionals is good. This event being a little bit longer is good for Vegeta because it gives him the chance to build up. But obviously, we do have to be very careful in this STR phase. We're lucky that we didn't have to eat the super. Because, of course, these guys, they're not getting their unit super attack if we don't have a Goku on rotation with them. So, I think that's what we probably want to do here, is just go ahead and get the revival. Unfortunately, not getting the super means that, obviously, we don't get the buff for, like, our allies for the next turn. But I think we should go ahead and do this, because once Goku has got his revive, then obviously he's good to go for guarding every turn and all that kind of stuff, right? So go ahead and do this. We'll use another one of their active skill activations here just so we can grab a couple of extra orbs. And then, in fact, we shouldn't even have to use the Dokkan attack here, right? Because he's just going to get killed straight away by this super attack. So... yeah, Goku gets killed. This team, I think I mentioned it in like the initial showcase, but this team is the first time I've actually gotten Tech Goku's revival pretty much since his release, right? Because obviously it's just so much easier to get a unit with a much easier revival condition to get the revival and then have him come in. So, alright, so there's a group attack in slot 1, which the androids wouldn't be able to avoid anyway. Are they going to hit... Oh, this is the friend one. The friend one's not link leveled either, which is annoying. I was going to say, because I don't know if MVP 17 doesn't crit, then obviously he's probably not going to be the harder hitting unit on the team here, or on the rotation. But I think we probably should do this. The STR phase definitely proving quite long. Bit of a sort of stumbling block for this team a little bit. You can see the AoE. See, the AoE takes... they take quite a bit of damage from that before attacking. This is from the STR one. They were getting hit second. The person getting hit third obviously takes the least damage, but that just goes to show you like what kind of damage they would take from that. If they were in slot 1, they were the first one getting hit by the AoE, they would take even more. So that's the thing. I was thinking about the fact that we would potentially struggle at the int phase from the AoEs, but we have to get to that phase for a start. So... okay, decent damage from you, and we get the additional as well. We didn't get a crit. I think the Dokkan attack, especially if you hit all the nodes, I'm not sure if it is super effective, but it definitely does more damage. Also, I didn't actually even notice because it was covered up by another AoE, but he's super attacking at the very end. So obviously, if physical UI Goku doesn't dodge, then it's GG for him in the final slot. But yeah, the fact that they took that much damage from an AoE when they're in slot 2, 200 odd K, I mean, that pretty much goes to show that when we get to the int phase, they are going to be taking at least 300k from these AoEs, which is really not good. And UI Goku's not dodging these AoEs, which is not good either. So, man, I don't know. Like, this team definitely not very well suited for this event, at least as it stands currently. But I think this is something that we talked about already. This is a huge problem for the androids just in general. And it does make me wonder, like, you guys let me know what you think down below. Whether it's worth, honestly, even doing a showcase of them versus Fusion Tommaso, because seeing the kind of damage that they're taking against that STR Omega AoE, like, they're going to take way more damage from the int one, which makes them almost unrunnable against him, because their key strength is going to be, as we've already said many times, once this team gets more buffs and gets all the easy A's from the anniversary, they're just going to be there to provide support to these crazy hard-hitting units where, like, say they take 300k from an AoE on a rotation, it's not going to matter because the team has like 800k HP, and then the two LR UI Gokus in slot 1 don't take any damage and then dish out millions and millions of attack stat worth of damage to the enemy. So then the trade-off becomes, like, reasonable. Whereas you look at this team that we're running for them on Global, and it's definitely not the best. But let me know what you guys think down below. I don't think not seeing many Android friends on the friends list is much of a surprise. Hopefully most people did skip the banner. They added in the discounts as like a little bit of an incentive, but I think it's definitely a very easy skip. Hopefully something hype comes out for Saiyan Day. Obviously next week we'll find out what that Super Dokkan summon thing is, so maybe that will be something interesting. But yeah, the androids, a little bit disappointing. All the hype is definitely on JP at the moment. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.